Hey guys, it's Millie. Um, Today I'm gonna talk to y'all about a movie I watched called Verotika. It is not a good movie. I am really excited to talk about it. Um, just to get things this out of the way, I have watched the Red Letter Media and Chris Stuckman reviews of the movie, so if I quote something from them, I'm not trying to steal it from them. It's just that what they said comes to my mind, if that makes sense. Um, Anyway, some background about Verotika. It was released in 2019, directed, written, and I think he manned the camera sometimes. Glenn Danzig of Danzig fame. Um, it is a horror anthology based upon his porn comics called the Verotic comics. So that's hence why this movie is called Verotika. And I am not usually one to kink shame, but I'm going to kink shame the ever loving fuck out of Glenn Danzig because this is the weirdest goddamn movie I think I've ever seen. Everything is wrong. I made a list to talk about what is wrong with this movie. So, I took notes. I'm gonna talk about this movie, so, spoilers if you want to see it or whatever, I guess. I don't know. But, trust me, nothing I say will make sense even after you see the film. Alright, so we open up with this lady begging for her life, and this evil little demon lady named Morella walks in, and she's the person, the interlude person. She's not funny. She's given really bad direction by Glenn Danzig, which is half the film could be described that way. But she walks in, she's like, "Hello, my little darklings." And she gouges out the lady's eyes with her fingernails. And then she's like, "Hee, I'm so evil, I'm a little evil lady. And look at our story," or whatever. So we go to the first story, The Albino Spider of Dajet. And we open with this lady who looks like a troll doll. She's giving this guy a blowjob, but his pants are still on and they're buckled. They're still on. Then they make out for a billion years. And then he's like, "I want to take your shirt off." But, oh, the first segment is in France for some reason, and none of them can do really good French accents. They fucking suck, and without subtitles, it's borderline incomprehensible. I actually watched the film on YouTube. I spent fucking money to rent it. But, even the subtitles do not match what the characters are supposed to be saying, so, okay. Anyways, he's like, "I want to see your boobies." And she's like, "No, don't see my boobies." It's Italian accent, not French, but whatever. Anyways, he takes her shirt off, and where her nipples are supposed to be, there are really, really ugly and, badly put in eyeballs. Yep. He is like, "Your teats, they're looking at me." And it's he slipped into this weird Scottish accent. And then she's like, "Oh no, don't look." Anyway, she cries. He runs out the door. Her friend, who lives in this building, I think, with her, walks in, and she's like, "Ah, he was a prick. Good riddance." And her name is Marielle, but our troll doll lady Dajette, she says Mahiel, so it's okay, what the fuck? Anyways, Marielle leaves. Dajette cries, and during the simulated blowjob scene, there was a vase on the opposite side of the room, and it had a white rose with an albino black widow on it, which is black widows are not in France, but there's an albino black widow on it, and she is sitting on the couch, and she starts to cry, and she's so fucking depressed that this guy and apparently tons of other men have left her because of her eyeball boobies, that she cries and her boobs cry. But for some reason, the tear from her breast falls directly onto the albino black widow spider that is across the room, elevated above the level of her breasts. And then we are treated to a delightful sequence where the albino spider becomes a Spider-Man of sorts. I say of sorts because he He has like two arms that work because they're his like regular arms. And then he has like these two arms that just protrude from here, and they didn't even bother trying to make them move, so they're just like these rubber things just hanging like this the entire time. It's very just like jarring and strange and funny to look at. And they keep like zooming in on his ugly face, and it's not so bad from far away, but up close it's grotesque in every sense of the word. Um, yes. So now we have the albino Spider-Man. He grabs Dajette and he's like, "Ha, Dajette, I am evil, and you must sleep so I can be free." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So she goes to sleep, I guess, like laying down on the floor face down. And he's so basically the idea is that when she sleeps, creepy Spider-Man goes out and like kills women or something like that. He's like her id. Anyways, he goes and he kills her best friend Marielle. And sorry, what did I write down? She's looking at an empty fridge for some reason. Like the props in this are so fucking bad. Just the level of incompetence in every facet of this movie is astounding and kind of amazing that somebody could fuck this up that bad. Like The Room had more technical competence than Verotika. I'm not even fucking kidding. But yes, so he murders Marielle and then like hangs her body. He like breaks her neck and then he hangs her body for some reason. And then our Dajette, she wakes up and she's like, "Oh, and now let it be a dream." And then she runs into Marielle's house, apartment, room, and finds her dead. And she's like, "Oh no, it's a sad thing." Um, Cut to the next day. Dajette is at a bondage photo shoot with a man who is operating like a $20 digital camera who's doing a photo shoot. He keeps saying like, "Sexy, sexy, look here." And none of these women have been given direction whatsoever, so they're all just kind of standing there like, like that's how they're behaving. I'm not even fucking joking. That's how they are acting in the movie. And Dajette falls asleep, and her little Spider-Man murders a prostitute, which is a delightful scene of dialogue because he's like, "I am not looking for a date," and she's like, "I am sure I can accommodate his taste," and he's like, and of course, in true villain style, he says exactly what he's going to do. He's like, "First, I want to bend you over right here and to fuck you in the ass," and she takes a drag off her cigarette and she says, "Ass fuck is my specialty." And then she just kind of looks off into the distance and takes another drag from her cigarette. And she's like, "Wow, I really just said that. That's gonna be in the movie." Yeah. But anyways, he murders her, and then Dajette wakes up and she's like, "Oh, no, it's a Spider-Man." And then on the television, at this bondage photo shoot, there is a man, and he is trying to hide his face with a microphone, and he has the worst French accent of all fucking time. I think second only to the waiter, who we will talk about in a little bit. And, anyways, he's like, "Le Nick Precard is killing women! Oh no!" And, Dajette's like, "Oh, that's because of me." Like, somehow she makes the connection that her Spider-Man is the neckbreaker. And then she cries and leaves, and she's like, "Nobody must go with me. I am going to go and be awake." And the bondage ladies are like, "Okay." And, they continue to pose awkwardly because Glenn Danzig does not know when to cut the fucking shot. So Dajette goes out and she wanders around and she goes to a sex movie theater, and she walks in, and if Danzig had just lowered the camera slightly, it would have been fine because he has a light with a fan in front of it, where the projector should be. And that would be a good idea if he just lowered the shot slightly so you couldn't see it. But when the camera like pans over it to see where Dajette is sitting, you can very clearly see the fan and the light. And it just ruins the effect because it's so fucking funny. And she goes there, she falls asleep. Guys there, like, who are having a very like casual conversation. Like, this one guy leans over to the guy next to him and is like, this is the part where she fucks two guys at once. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I would not go to a public movie theater to watch pornography. Second of all, if I happen to go to a theater to watch pornography, I would not want the weird redneck looking ass man next to me to comment on it, like implying that he's seen this film more than once. Like, I want this to be a private affair. Like, don't fucking talk to me. Don't interact. But this is the world of Verotika. Anything can happen. Anyway, so Dajette leaves. She goes, ah, no. And she runs away from the guys trying to molest her. She goes to a cafe, which is just absolutely baffling. Because this is what happens. This is how the scene goes. Dajette walks into the cafe. There is a table and a coffee already sitting on the table for her. Dajette sits down. The waiter, who has the most incomprehensible accent in the entire fucking movie, walks over and he says, we are closing. Do you want a refill? For the drink she didn't order? That was already on the table? Anyway, Dajette says, oh, okay. She gets up, she pays for the drink, and leaves. I'm not even going to try to apply logic to this, because it is outside of the realms of logic. Then Dajette goes to her apartment. She's like, I know it must be done. And she takes a bunch of sleeping pills. Then she calls the police on, like, her antique 1800s phone in her apartment that only has, like, a phone, a chair, and a couch in it. And she's like, there has been a murder at my address. She goes and she takes the pills. The Spider-Man wakes up and he's like, ah, Dajette, what have you done? The police come and they hit the battering ram so very gently against the door, which you can see the score marks on the back of the door. They bust in. They have an epic showdown with the Spider-Man, and he, like, charges at them with his arms. But, so, you got his two arms that are, like, menacing because they're moving. And then his, like, rubber arms just flopping around as he walks forward. And it's like, oh, okay. Glenn Danzig, I can see what you were going for here. You did a piss poor job executing it. Anyway, so they shoot him to death. And then he dies. And he's like, ah, you bitch, I am dying, wake up! But Dajette is dead. And, the policeman ogle at her eyeball boobies, because her short shirt, of course, has to show them now for some reason. And it ends. And then we move on to our next story with some annoying-ass Morella somewhere in there. I don't really fucking care about her. Anyways, we have a very interesting thing called Change of Face, which is very obviously a ripoff. Oops, sorry, I have something on my computer. A ripoff of the French film Eyes Without a Face. But it's so much worse. So, we have this lady named Mystery Girl. She is a stripper. She works at a strip club called Pussycats. They dance to hard rock metal, like Danzig music. Like, I actually looked it up, and one of the songs that they strip to is a Danzig song. And I am no expert. I have never been to a strip club, but I assume they don't dance to songs that are like blood and tears. Ooh, kill people. Like, that's not, like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, our mystery lady is a stripper. But she has a face with burn scars that aren't really even that bad. Like, if she just invested in some good makeup, it would be fine. But, she cuts the faces off women. She does a piss poor job at it. She's not good at cutting faces off. But, like, she covers her face with another face, right? But then she wears, like, a veil over her face when she strips. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I will roll with it for the sake of my brain not exploding while trying to make sense of this film. Anyway, she kills some ladies. The cops in this one are fucking incredible. They don't do anything that makes sense. They do not follow proper police procedure. The detective guy is, like, the funniest character in the entire film. Because he's, like, trying to do, like, a gruff voice that, like, a child would do for an adult. But he's an adult. And he's like, oh, what do you got? It's just, like, not flattering at all. And, anyway, so Mystery Girl kills a lady, leaves her body, takes her face. The cops show up and are like, damn, That girl's face is stolen. Shit sucks. Then our mystery girl strips, and there's like 3 different 5-minute segments in this like 25-30 minute vignette that are just stripper scenes. Like, there's no point. It's just ladies stripping. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. Listen, I love women. I'm attracted to women, but by fucking Christ, I am trying to watch a movie. Please, if I wanted to look at stripping women, I would Google stripping women. Anyway, so, Mystery Girl goes to like this other lady's house, and it is an incredibly baffling line of dialogue because Mystery Girl opens the door. This blonde lady turns around, she's like, "Who is it? I'm here." What? What the fuck? Anyways, Mystery Girl like charges at her, hits her face, and apparently leaves her business card at the crime scene. So the police arrive at the crime scene and they see our detective man, Sergeant Anderson, I think is his name. But he finds it and he's like, "This Mystery Girl is definitely the lady who killed this blonde lady with no face." It's like, it's not a lead. It's not, hey, maybe our blonde lady works there and it says her business card, maybe. But, nope, that's the evidence. Mystery Girl is a born killer, apparently. So he goes to the Pussycats Club and he like threatens to shoot all the ladies there because they won't tell him shit about Mystery Girl. And then he walks into a room that looks like it has been covered in trash bags. Like, it's just a black room. And it's fucking incomprehensible. Like, what kind of room is this at the strip club? What is going on? Like, what? It's like he just walks into a pitch black room with trash bags everywhere. Who, what, when, where, why? What the fuck? Like, the basic laws of filmmaking are not applied here. But, so he walks in. He walks to the middle of the room. Mystery Girl appears behind him. She cuts his face. He shoots forward, hits her somehow, and she runs out the door. Yeah. Anyway, he has a big acting monologue. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking get you, you cut my face!" And then, like, it cuts to 6 months later with, like, another 5-minute strip scene, and then it reveals at the very end her with, like, bullet hole wounds on her chest or whatever. And she's still stripping, still taking faces. And that's how it ends. Yeah. Anyway, we move on to our third vignette, and this is called, like, Drukia, Countess of Blood. And it is based upon the story of Elizabeth Bathory, who was a real countess of Hungary in, like, the 1600s, I want to say, like, 1650s. She bathed in the blood of virgins to keep herself young. Where Elizabeth Bathory was actually an evil person, Drukia, or the Contessa, is, like, the most comically evil fucking person on earth. Everything she does is just funny. Like, yeah, she's doing evil things, but, like, the whole movie is just so incredibly baffling and comical that nothing can be taken seriously about it. Sorry, that was my dad. Anyways, so we have Drukia, the Contessa of Blood, and everybody refers to her as Contessa, even though that is not the Hungarian word for countess. That's the Italian word for countess, but I digress. Anyways, Contessa wants a virgin to bathe in her blood. Like, so the scene opens, and she walks across, like, a green screen floor. Like, she's in, like, a green screen room. It is incredibly bizarre. But, she, like, hangs this lady's head up, and then leaves to go to a village with, like, her pals. And she gets this lady, this little girl. She's like, is she a virgin? And she says virgin, not virgin. Virgin. And her mother is like, yes, go to Contessa's castle, it will be fine, you'll make a lot of money, be happy there. So she sends her little blonde bitch off. And then Contessa, at night, so, we have this admittedly kind of cool, like, bathtub prop, that's like a skull and stuff, and it looks cool. But, we have one of, like, the little blonde virgins. She's supposed to be chained up, like in the tub, with her wrist slit. First of all, they did not even slit the wrist the right way for all the blood to drain. Like they slit it across here, not down, where you sever the artery or the vein and you bleed out. Second of all, there is not this much blood in a human being that it would drain into the tub like this. Third of all, she is not actually chained up. It is very clearly shown that she is hanging onto the chains with her hands. Like she has like them wrapped around like this, and she's holding them like this. And it's like, she didn't have like a handcuff prop or something? Anyways, Contessa of Blood hops in the bathtub and she like is still wearing her veil for some reason. But she like rubs blood all over herself for like a billion minutes, and then her assistant, I think her name's like Sheshka, walks in and she's like, "Here, bow to your Contessa." And then Sheshka cuts the girl's throat, and then she like squirts blood all over the place. And Contessa rubs some more blood on herself, and then gets out of the bathtub, goes to her room, and she like looks at herself in the mirror for 5 minutes straight. I can just imagine the actress is sitting there. She's like, "All right, Glenn just needs me to like look at the camera, look in the mirror for like 5 minutes, like for 5 seconds total in front of the camera. Like, whatever." Nope, Glenn Danzig did not cut the fucking shot for 3 straight minutes. I'm not joking. Yeah. So she just like leans into the mirror and like looks at herself and like looks at her ass and her like face for like 3 straight minutes. And then the next day, Contessa goes to the forest, an incredibly well-lit forest, where you can very clearly see the camera crew in the background of the shots. She goes to a forest and she like gives a wolf some meat from a virgin, and she's like, "Go find me more virgins." It's like, I don't know what he's gonna fucking do about it, but okay. Anyways, so yeah, that happened. Then a virgin tries. No wait, she eats a virgin's heart first, but so she cuts her chest open and like reaches into her ribs to get the heart, but she didn't break any of the ribs, so you can't get to the heart that way. And her heart, the lady's heart's like giant. It's like this. I'm like, oh my god, fucking enlarged heart or what? What are y'all Hungarians eating? But anyways, it's like 5 minutes of Contessa licking the heart, and then a girl tries to escape from the castle. Contessa hunts her down, or her goons hunt her down, and kill the lady. But it's a huge waste of blood because like they decapitate her, but they don't like have like a bucket to collect the blood in. Which is funny because Contessa is very obsessed with virgin blood and wants to bathe in it all the time. Anyways, then there's a really bad prop head that Contessa hangs up in a room, and that's the end. Yeah. It's literally just like a day in Contessa's life. She killed some virgins, she bathed in their blood, she hung out in the forest with her friendly wolf, decorated her room. That's it. I hesitate to say that it would be better. I think it would make more sense if the protagonist of the Contessa piece was not Contessa herself, but was instead one of like the virgins trying to escape Contessa. Because as it is, it's like I said, it's like a day in Contessa's life. It's like there's no plot, no struggle, no antagonist. Just Contessa living her life, I guess. And then we have Morella at the very end. She's in the same bathtub prop and she's like, "Stay dark." And then Glenn refuses to cut the scene. So it's like 2 minutes of Morella just like grabbing water in her hands and just like doing this kind of motion. So yes, that is Verotika. People are calling it the new Room. I think that Verotika is in a league of its own. It is quite possibly the most incompetent film I've ever seen. Every single thing about Verotika is incorrect, which is fucking incredible. Like, I'm not kidding when I say this is the most baffling movie I've ever seen in my life. But yes, so that is Verotica. Pirate it. Please don't spend money on this movie like I did. I yeah. But if you do really want to spend movie money on it, it's like $5 on YouTube. But oh my god, it has to be seen to be believed. Like it's how I described it will never do it justice to how incomprehensible and bizarre this movie is. Anyway, yeah, that's Verotica. Um, I'll see you guys later. Hope you have a good day, morning, night, whatever it is for you, and I'll catch you later.